This is ASS Breaking News.
Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar! Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am Assman bin Licken here with ASS News in lovely Florida, out on assignment, here interviewing a Pakistani college student out in America for the first time. Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Salman Butt. How's it going, sir?
I'm doing very well, sir. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. I love America.
Oh, welcome to America. I see you're already, being a laid back Floridan with that floral shirt, looking really good.
Like it fit good.
Yeah, not bad.
It looks fit.
Not bad.
Fit.
Yeah, I mean it's still kind of weird. It's still kind of weird you don't have a tan yet, but we'll get to that later on, Mr. Butt. So, being here in Florida your first time, how are you liking the weather? What's the weather like?
Oh, sir, I cannot tell you. I'm so happy. Seth Mandel, he has been very so gracious. He has turned off his weather machine, and it has been absolutely beautiful out here. I'm seeing tits and ass everywhere. And, sir, I cannot tell you, this is paradise. Mwah.
You seem to be very excited for some tits and ass. Is this your first time seeing tits and ass?
I cannot tell you. Sir, I cannot tell you. In Pakistan, it is literally a sausage fest, and we don't even eat the stuff. I mean, this is literally pork, a pork country, pork everywhere. Big. I'm seeing sausage, big, giant penises in my face, small, tiny penises that I have to squint to see. But here, sir, they are everywhere. The tits and ass everywhere. Oh my goodness, sir! I'm going to have a heart attack. I'm going to faint. It is too good.
So basically, you're saying
first class.
You're saying that Florida and the beaches of Florida with the tits and ass is more halal than the sausage fest you see back in Pakistan.
Sir, I don't know how you live in Pakistan and you're not gay. I mean, sir, there is no, even the women, they are more manly than the men. I mean, sir, they have the what you call the unibrow. Sir, they don't wax their eyebrows. It is a ghastly, sir. I mean, I want them to cover up in burqa so I can spare myself.
So basically, Sharia is implemented in Pakistan over women because of how ugly they are and needing to be in burqas.
Sir, I tell you, it is the only way to go to save us in Pakistan. In America, we don't need it because they're everywhere. It is amazing. Too good.
Too good. And being in Florida this time of year, usually you can run into some famous people. You see any stars down there in Florida?
Sir, in addition to the pussy I've seen everywhere, I've seen the man with the biggest cock I've ever seen. Have you heard of this man? His former president, Bill Clinton. This man, oh my goodness, he has 1,000 girlfriend. I aspire to be this man. 1,000 girlfriend. One day I hope to get 1,000 too.
Have you seen Hillary Clinton there?
Oh, sir, very touchy subject with him. Sir, I ask him, I say, how's your wife doing? He says, Hillary is here, and he goes, hides in the bushes. I didn't see him the rest of the night.
So Hillary is a freak. She can scare some people really good, especially Bill Clinton. So being in America, for about a week now in Florida, what's your favorite cultural introduction to America?
Sir, I have to tell you that have you heard this song VAP?
VAP? Excuse me?
VAP. Have you heard VAP?
VAP? No, I don't think I've heard rap before. I don't.
No, not rap. VAP. Wet ass pussy.
Oh.
Sir, it is the most brilliant song. It is epitome of America because have you heard it goes certified freak? 7 days a week, wet ass pussy, make that pull out game weak. And they talk about how many whores there are in this house. I mean, first of all, where can I find this house with all these whores? I mean, sir, is this where Bill Clinton lives? I mean, all these whores, they have to be his harem.
It's got to be his house. You're probably right. And you did a pretty good job. I mean, for somebody who doesn't speak English very well, I think you rapped that song better than Cardi B did, to be honest with you.
Sir, and if she will give me a call, I will appear on the remix of that song.
Inshallah. Now, and with all these group of people that are all around and everything, have they introduced you into CI?
What's that? CI?
CI, yes. Community immunity.
You got the vaccine, you got the vaccine, they got the vaccine, we got the vaccine. We can get back to normal, let me inform you, let's all get the vaccine. It's about community immunity.
Assalamu alaikum, Habibis.
Wa alaikum assalam, Habibis. Welcome back to another episode of Habibi Power Hour.
It's the best way to deal with this is for Georgia and other states to smarten up. Stop it. Stop it.
The criticism is that it's pay to play, Governor.
It's wrong. It's a fake narrative. I just disabused you of the narrative, and you don't care about the facts.
Never know where you'll end up. That's freedom. I'll raise a glass to that any day. P.S. Ted Cruz, go fuck yourself.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
What's going on, Habibis? I'm Siraj Hashmi.
I'm Jay Kobbe.
Jay.
I'm
we're the
Jad Kobbe.
Habibi Bros. Welcome to another episode. Wow, Jay, I think my internet just sucks. But
is it going out too bad?
It's literally 7 minutes in and my internet's failing. Welcome, Habibis, to another episode of Habibi Power Hour. We're back, sort of. I mean, I'm still on vacation and Jay is, doing Jay things. But
Yes, sir.
We're here. I'm in sunny Florida, taking up the Rays, and it's been fun. Although I will say this is kind of weird. Jay, you're on the left side, I'm on the right. Let's flip this around.
Yeah, this is weird. This isn't. There we go.
There we go.
Alhamdulillah. I was about to freak out for a second.
Yeah, that was weird. First of all, Jay, congratulations for getting back onto Twitter. Although I feel like that congratulations is, I don't know, temporary, considering how you're already shadow banned.
Not just shadow, man. I'm practically fucking banned. It's insane. It's pretty crazy how shadow banned they put me. I'm on a list already on Twitter. So.
Yeah. I don't even know how my internet is actually coming in here. Josh Goldsmith says Siraj might actually be in Pakistan. Kate says, "What's going on, Habibis?" Did that really how it came
that's
in?
That's how it came in. And I was saying, and I'm Jad Kobbe like 2 or 3 times, but I don't think you got it.
Wow, I didn't get it. No. So, all right. For those who didn't hear, I'm Siraj Hashmi.
And I'm Jad Kobbe.
And we're the Habibi Bros. Welcome to another episode of Habibi Power Hour. Oh, Jesus. Wow, Chris Kinder says Siraj's lips are moving to the actual sound like an old Godzilla movie. Amazing. Wow. I am literally the most boomer person right here, right now. There's literally nothing I could do. There's no like hardwire connection. I brought all my hardwire stuff in case there was like a modem I could connect to, but there's nothing here.
There's nothing there.
Nothing
Well,
here.
I do like the get up that you have going on, like out in the corner somewhere with your gamer headset.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
Straight vacation.
Isn't that nice?
Just you're in Florida and what you're doing is gaming and playing Witcher 3.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been gaming a lot. Been playing a lot of Witcher 3. I have been doing the list. The list has been busy, and
Very.
people just like want to tweet their worst takes while I'm on vacation. So
Well, they think they're safe from the list, but
they think they are.
it's like
But
it's like that meme, you know, it's like call an ambulance, but not for me.
basically, that's essentially 100% the case.
Essentially
And
100%.
what are we drinking tonight?
I am drinking a very nice bottle from a very generous Habibi called Rittenhouse. It's a rye.
Is that the name of the Habibi as well?
No, no. The name of the Habibi is Bike Practitioner. That is the name of the Habibi.
It's actually
And,
bike practicer, but I get it.
Oh, is it practicer? But doesn't
Yeah.
practitioner? Oh, no, practitioner.
No,
is,
he practices on bikes.
right. So it is a bike practice.
Why would there be a bike practitioner?
Look, I'm here to fuck up every name I can find. So that's what I do.
Man. Well, Habibis, I apologize since I'm on vacation and I haven't really had a whole lot of chance to, look up everyone on Patreon. We'll be doing our shout outs next week when I am actually back in town. But we can start off with some news. Obviously, the very first thing on the top of our list, everyone seems to be focused on this Georgia voter law. And I cannot tell you the level of outrage has been beyond even me. Like people have got me to care about like actually paying attention to stuff during my vacation because the freak out has been so much. And I've gotten through some of the actual bill, reading the bill. It's a 98-page bill. But for those who don't really know what's going on with it, there's a lot of misinformation around it. And I just got to say, a lot of the misinformation around it is unwarranted. But basically, for those who have been obviously following, it's turned into a giant culture war. It's involved the Major League Baseball All-Star game that was originally supposed to be in Atlanta, Georgia this summer. And it got moved to Denver, Colorado because of this new law. Now, it was brought about, obviously, in the wake of the 2020 election because there are obviously a lot of voting irregularities, and some would say there has been a lot of voter fraud to the extent that I don't know, but that's obviously been the debate right there is how much voter fraud there has been. But the 2020 presidential election obviously was an interesting case because, we're in the middle of a pandemic. Still, I know, right? It's fucking April, and we're still a year into this shit.
We're on day 13 of the 15-day.
The 15 days of slow to spread. So, I mean, I'm not going to go through every single part of the Georgia voting bill, but I will highlight a couple of things because, first of all, there now previously in Georgia, voter ID was required. I'm sorry, not voter ID. ID was required to vote. Okay, so that hasn't changed for in-person voting. That hasn't changed. What has changed is that you now need ID for mail-in voting, and so that seems to have triggered some level of outrage on the left that somehow that's going to disproportionately affect minority voters because for some reason they don't know how to get an ID. Is that how I'm reading it, Jay? Is that the argument that they're going with?
That's exactly the argument they're going with. I mean, you have people tweeting out some stupid shit like saying on your driver's license, there's a driver's license number and then there's a serial number. Right. Are you going to know which one to use? I think I'm going to know to use the one that says driver's license number on the fucking top of it. Like, how patronizing are they? Like, how more patronizing can they be to minority voters? Like,
it's incredibly insulting. For one, if you are part of that demographic that they're saying, oh, but what about the blacks, Hispanics, the Asians, and the you name it, your person of color du jour, they don't know how to get ID. Like, Fuck out of here, man. Like, I argue most of these people of color are more educated than some of the rural whites. I mean, it's just, it's just fucking, it's fucking insane to make that argument. But also, like, I've been noticing, for one, when a voter returns an absentee ballot, they can provide not only, they could use their driver's license number if they wanted to. They don't actually have to send they don't have to send a photocopy of their ID, but they could also provide the last 4 digits of their social security number, and that would suffice as their ID. And like, if you're an adult in this world and you don't know your social security number, buddy, you probably shouldn't be you probably shouldn't be voting in the first place. Like, that is like, you know, adulting 101. What is your fucking social security number? Of course, that bars a lot of people who aren't citizens from voting, but guess what? You're not allowed to vote if you're not a citizen. So, like, there shouldn't be an issue there. Like, that is not racist. If you are a citizen, you have the right to vote. You know, so long as obviously you haven't, you know, found a way to make it so that you can't vote anymore. Like, you went to prison. So, are there problems in the system? Of course, there are always problems in the system. For one, and I can identify something that could be problematic down the road, but this is obviously brings into question, obviously, the issue of local elections. And that is that the state election board will now have new powers, and they won't be charged by the Secretary of State. So, like, if you remember in the 2018 gubernatorial election between Stacey Abrams and Brian Kemp was the Secretary of State of Georgia, and he was overseeing his own election. Like, you can understand how, like, that creates a conflict of interest in the actual election. And of course, everybody made allegations that there was rampant voter fraud and that basically Brian Kemp expunged tens of thousands of votes to tip the election in favor of him instead of Governor Stacey Abrams.
It's amazing that lie can still be told till this day, isn't it? About that election.
Well, I mean,
that lie can be told.
There hasn't been enough evidence to prove that there was enough fraud to tip the election for Stacey Abrams. But the fact that she never conceded and then talked about how for like the next 2 years, like, she won that shit, you know, like, it's like she's basically setting some level of precedent. And then even people used that line that Abrams used to justify what Donald Trump was doing, that, you know, Stacey Abrams did this for a long time, so why shouldn't Donald Trump be allowed to do that? So, you know, it's kind of funny how that one went down. But I will say this: so with respect to the state election board, they are the members on the board. It's going to be a 5-person board. They are going to be voted on to the board by the state legislature, which is right now controlled by Republicans. So, but the members of the state election board have to be nonpartisan. The chair is supposed to be nonpartisan. The new law prohibits the chair from actively participating in a political party or organization, donating to a political campaign, or running for public office during his or her service in the 2 years preceding the term as chair. So it's 2 years before them.
Sounds just like Jim Crow
anytime
2.0.
before that, you just be like, all right, I'm not going to like donate to any political party, do anything for 2 years, and then, you know, you point me to state election chair. So, like, there are potential problems on that end. But there was the whole thing with just like saying this is new Jim Crow. I mean, this doesn't meet the standard for a new Jim Crow. It's expanding early voting from, what was it? They have 20. They have, huh?
I think it was from 9 to 12 days.
No. They have like 20. They have 17 days of early voting up to 22 days before the actual election, and they like stop it Friday before election day. And they are mandating that every county, or at least most counties in Georgia, have to have 2 Saturdays where there's early voting and an optional Sunday for voting, because there's actually, and I didn't know this, but there's a tradition in a lot of Black churches that they go to vote after going to church on Sunday, which is actually kind of cool. I actually didn't know that. That's like a nice community event. And so some counties will have the option to open polls on Sundays, which is a good thing.
No, absolutely is. And I think each place needs to have a drop box as well, each county.
So yeah, every county has a drop box. They are going to be regulating basically where those drop boxes are going to be, when they're accessible. But like everybody is, I feel like there's been a lot of fixation on the drop boxes when there shouldn't be, because the drop boxes were very much, they were advantageous for being in the time that we are in with COVID and the pandemic, and making people feel comfortable that they can just drop off their vote and they don't have to worry about it. Of course, you know, those drop boxes aren't always monitored, and there have been drop boxes that have been set on fire, destroying votes in the process. Yeah, but like I feel like we should be encouraging people to vote in person unless they are absolutely not able to. Which of course they have basically. Georgia still has no excuse absentee voting still in place. And there was another thing that I'm trying to remember that people were, trying to use. I've seen media outlets trying to report this as a scare tactic. That
it's the water. At the very beginning, it was being able to hand out water and stuff, and it's the same kind of law that you see in many different states.
Yeah,
basically not wanting to influence anyone by handing out.
So one of them, this is interesting because they like include this language early on in the CBS News article that they were going to, it was only debated by some lawmakers that they were going to ban Sunday voting and that they were going to get rid of no excuse absentee voting, but neither of those made it into the final law. So right. I feel like there's been so much charged language surrounding this that people are, they're not seeing the forest they're not seeing the forest. They're what is it? Forest for the trees or some shit like that. I can't remember the saying. They can't step out. They can't step back and see the big picture is what I'm trying to say. And
right. Well, they don't want to.
Yeah.
This is on purpose.
And that's what it makes it seem like, is that this is a disinformation campaign to make it look like, reforming election laws and expanding early access voting or early voting and making it difficult for people who aren't citizens to vote. I don't know how that is a bad thing.
Well, I mean, it's not. It's just a law that was signed in by a Republican, and they use that as a way to cause outrage, especially when the midterms are going to be coming around, and especially because we think that Kemp is weak.
And it's fun. It is so rich that now everybody's turning on Kemp, considering how he was basically, he and Brad Raffensperger were Trump's basically biggest foe in 2020. They were everybody now hates, everybody on the Trump base hates Kemp and Raffensperger. They're totally going to get voted out of office. But even then, yeah, and I think they know that. And I don't even know if this law even helps them with their own base because of how the whole 2020 election went down. So right. It's particularly interesting how the reaction has been. And obviously that kind of segues into our bit about, the All-Star game being moved from Atlanta to Denver, Colorado, which is arguably one of the whitest cities in America. I mean, Jay, you didn't even watch baseball. When you saw that, what was it? I mean, how did you even react to that?
Well, the main outrage that I was having, and honestly, these lies that we were seeing here, and when we're going to hit on some other issues later, is it's the same amount of anger and outrage I was feeling when they were lying about Kavanaugh and how they were trying to smear Kavanaugh as much as they did. It was so obvious. And right now, it's just the obvious fucking lying that everybody's doing on the Georgia law, causing these cultural moves to happen, from the MLB and all this kind of stuff. And you have them calling it Jim Crow 2.0. You have them say all these things, and nothing in the Georgia law is ever close to Jim Crow 2. So the question is it's not what's in the law. Is it Jim Crow 2.0? That's
No,
the question.
it's not.
Yes or no? That's it.
No,
True or
it's-
false? Every
It is.
fact checker.
It is
that's what they
absolutely,
have to-
essentially,
have to fact
100% fucking. It is essentially 100% not Jim Crow. It is being used as a wedge issue because, for some reason, that is the only way that people on the left who are advocating basically that this is Jim Crow. That's the only way that they think they can win on this issue. And every
Right.
time I've seen people argue on this, they point to like opinion articles. They don't point to actually anything in the bill, which is troubling because it just shows me that people can't read, and they just don't want to be. They only want to have biases that confirm their own biases.
Yes.
And it's
you
because
saw that-
I am looking at this with a lot of scrutiny, and I'm trying to find bad things about this bill and areas where this bill can and this new law could be abused. And I think the state election board right now, that could be the most troubling part of it, and that it could be predominantly chosen by one party, and that state election board can then have basically all the sway. They could say that they're nonpartisan, but obviously act in a very partisan way that only benefits the Republican Party, ensuring that they only keep power. So like that is obviously a very problematic part of it. I don't know what could ameliorate that. That is certainly better than the Secretary of State overseeing an election that they could potentially be in. I wish what they probably should have done is that the Secretary of State is just, they can't run for governor, or they can't run for a higher office. They have to like basically
resign.
Recuse. They have to recuse themselves entirely. They have to like hand it off to a deputy or something like that. But even then, there are problems with that because of the deputy could be of that person's choosing. And all of a sudden, that person could like strong arm, the recused Secretary of State could strong arm the deputy. I don't know. There are a lot of issues that play here, and it's not a perfect bill, but it is not Jim Crow 2.0.
It isn't. And it's really funny seeing the media shift and goalpost for the president. Like they're the ones who are setting the narrative, and the president is just using that narrative. Like when you had it in the White House, when you had Ducey. Ducey.
We'll go with Ducey.
All right. So you had Ducey coming in and comparing how, in Colorado, I think it's 12 days or 9 days or something like that. It's a little bit less than Denver, and they use voter ID and all that kind of stuff. And then you have fucking dick-faced Dale coming out and checking Ducey. Why the fuck is he fact-checking Ducey? That makes zero sense. You're supposed to be fact-checking the White House, not Ducey.
Yeah. So
and then he goes off to
go ahead. Keep going.
No, he had like a five tweet thread thing. It was fucking hilarious because one of them was like, so when you're voting in Colorado, you have to show there's no voter ID. Only when you go in to get your mail-in voting, you have to show ID. So there's no voter ID until there is voter ID, basically, is what he said.
It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, you need voter ID for basically everything. You need voter ID. I'm sorry, not voter ID. You need ID for basically everything. There are so few things that you don't. There are more things you need ID for than you don't need it for.
Yeah.
And for like the important shit, you need ID. And voting is one of the most fundamental rights of every citizen of any country. It is considered, for some people, so sacred. It's so important. If it's so important, why aren't you asking people to verify who they are? I mean, Colorado, for example, and this is interesting because NPR was trying to do a fact check and say, Colorado is actually more expansive on voting than Georgia's new bill. Well, for one, Colorado has fewer in-person voting days, but also Colorado has way more mail-in ballots. They have, basically not mandated statewide mail-in voting, but they have mostly mail-in voting.
Right.
And they do have early voting. They have early voting, but for fewer days. With the state ID requirements for one, Colorado does require ID. They do require ID to vote. But they also then go on to say that it can accept 16 different forms of identification. That includes a driver's license, U.S. passport, or government employee ID, Medicare and Medicaid cards, college IDs, utility bills, bank statements, and paychecks.
Right. And the Georgia bill provides a free ID for you if you don't have one.
Right. The Georgia
it's very
does
easy to get.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to get.
Yeah. So it making that is like a good fail-safe. If a person cannot get ID, there are services in place to help get that person a free ID so that they're not also taking money out of their own pocket for something that they want to participate in. And every citizen should want to participate in the electoral process. And
I can see where it's like Jim Crow 2.0 because giving any black person an ID is essentially just lynching him.
100%. So, yeah. So the whole debate is just crazy. I've seen
useless.
What's that?
I said the fact checkers are useless.
100%.
I mean, Glenn. Well, essentially, Glenn
100%.
If you go to his timeline, the whole day, this whole morning was him just tweeting and retweeting and tweeting excuses about how Colorado, they're fact checking Dowsey instead of fact checking whether or not this fucking bill is Jim Crow 2.0 or not.
Yeah.
That's the biggest fucking lie.
It is.
And then,
it is just such a tiresome argument to say that requesting ID is racist. No, fucking assuming that people of color can't get ID because there's something wrong with them is fucking racist. That's right. That's the racist thing. By the way, I just realized I still had memory ass news in the corner. We should probably change that. There we go, Habibi Bros.
Perfect. And in EOTech 89,
Jeremy.
he also brings up
Jeremy.
That is Jeremy. He brings up a good point too.
You can click on comments now, Jay. You remember?
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I forgot.
He said he said I had to present an ID to get my vaccine. This is Jim Crow on steroids. Yes, you have to present your ID to get a fucking vaccine.
And they were talking about vaccine passports and shit too.
You have to you have to give them your vaccine card to get your second shot. How fucking racist is that?
Holy shit.
Jesus Christ.
That is fucking insane.
Axios coming in here says, Biella, behave yourself or I'll give you a taste of my shoe, Siraj. Yeah. Connor, C-dubs. The fact that there isn't a summary of the bill that is not heavily biased circulating is appalling to me. People shouldn't have to read the whole bill to know the facts. The media should help. Yeah, and the media is of no fucking help.
Nope.
So,
and absolutely by design.
Shivan says, Siraj, can you go back to Baijan mode for a few minutes? Okay, here I am, sir. Here I am, sir. Sir, I am here. Hello, sir. Hello, how are you? Yes, meet you. Good. Hi. Hey, yes. Hello, sir.
Marhaba. Jaldi karo.
Jaldi karo. Haramzade. This debate's going to go on, at least for the rest of the week. And it's all really stupid. But you know what? At least, you're focusing on Glenn Kessler and how he has been spending all his time sort of like going to bat for Democrats on the Georgia voting bill. But you know what? He actually posted an article, and I shit you not, I was amazed by this, about how 60 Minutes of CBS fucked up in getting in their gotcha interview, or not gotcha interview, but gotcha piece on Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. And by the way, I'm actually dead right now. DeSantis killed me. This is actually heaven. Hence the pussy everywhere. Oh, sir.
The 72 virgins.
They are 72 filthy whores.
Filthy whores. Oh, shit.
So,
well, you're in Florida.
Yeah, I am in Florida. But yes, I don't know exactly where the actual article is because this guy doesn't stop tweeting. But when it comes to 60 Minutes, I don't know if you guys saw this, but 60 Minutes, they did a very hatchet job of trying to cover DeSantis. And let me see if I can get it here. Chrome tab. This is this little clip here. And I'll play the full clip for you guys in just a second. But basically, it's all an attempt to make basically what's behind the story is that Sharon Alfonsi, who is the reporter on the story, basically found that Publix, which is a grocery store chain in Florida, gave Ron DeSantis's PAC $100,000. And what happened after that was basically Publix came into the rotation of rolling out the vaccine in the state of Florida. Okay. So one thing I want to point out here, I'm going to show you first the clip that 60 Minutes put out, and it's going to be immediately followed by the full answer. So you can see exactly what happened, because the way the 60 Minutes portrays it, it makes it look like there was a play for play, straight up corruption, $100,000, you get the vaccine, you get the vaccine, you get the vaccine, we all get the vaccine.
Got the vaccine, you got the vaccine, they got the vaccine, we got the vaccine.
Just like that. But this is exactly how it went down. Let me show it. I'm just going to put it front to back. Because my internet's slow, we're just going to play the full clip. That way we're not, slowing down here. Fuck. All right, we're gonna try that. We're gonna try that one more time. Excuse me, folks.
That was the full edited clip.
That was the full 60 Minutes and the full answer. You just missed all of it. Sorry, Habibis. All right, here we go.
We wanted to ask Governor DeSantis about the deal, but he declined our request for an interview. We caught up with him south of Orlando.
Publix, as you know, donated $100,000 to your campaign, and then you rewarded them with the exclusive rights to distribute the vaccination in Palm Beach.
So first of all, what you're saying is wrong.
How is that not pay to play?
That's a fake narrative. I met with the county mayor, I met with the administrator, I met with all the folks at Palm Beach County, and I said, here's some of the options. We can do more drive-through sites. We can give more to hospitals. We can do the Publix. And they said, we think that would be the easiest thing for our residents.
But Melissa McKinley, the county commissioner in the Glades, told us the governor never met with her about the Publix deal.
The criticism is that it's pay to play,
and
Governor.
It's wrong. It's a fake narrative. I just disabused you of the narrative, and you don't care about the facts, because obviously I laid it out for you in a way that is irrefutable.
Well,
and so it's clearly not.
Isn't there the nearest Publix to the Glades is
you're
30
wrong.
miles
You're wrong.
away.
You're wrong. Yes,
That's
sir.
actually a fact.
So first of all, what you're saying is wrong. That's a fake narrative. So first of all, when we did the first pharmacies that had it were CVS and Walgreens, and they had a long-term care mission. So they were going to the long-term care facilities. They got vaccine in the middle of December. They started going to the long-term care facilities the third week of December to do LTCs. So that was their mission. That was very important, and we trusted them to do that. As we got into January, we wanted to expand the distribution points. So yes, you had the counties, you had some drive-through sites, you had hospitals that were doing a lot, but we wanted to get it into communities more. So we reached out to other retail pharmacies, Publix, Walmart. Obviously, CVS and Walgreens had to finish that mission, and we said we're gonna use you as soon as you're done with that. For the Publix, they were the first one to raise their hand, say they were ready to go. And you know what? We did it on a trial basis. I had 3 counties. I actually showed up that weekend and talked to seniors across 4 different Publix. How was the experience? Is this good? Should you think this is the way to go? And it was 100% positive. So we expanded it, and then folks liked it. And I can tell you, if you look at a place like Palm Beach County, they were kind of struggling at first in terms of the senior numbers. I met with the county mayor, I met with the administrator, I met with all the folks at Palm Beach County, and I said, here's some of the options. We can do more drive-through sites. We can give more to hospitals. We can do the Publix. We can do this. They calculated that 90% of their seniors live within 1.5 miles of a Publix. And they said, we think that would be the easiest thing for our residents. So we did that. And what ended up happening was you had 65 Publix in Palm Beach. Palm Beach is one of the biggest counties, one of the most elderly counties. We've done almost 75% of the seniors in Palm Beach. And the reason is because you had the strong retail footprint. So our way has been multifaceted. It has worked. And we're also now very much expanding CVS and Walgreens now that they've completed the long-term care mission. Yes? And it's wrong. It's wrong. It's a fake narrative. I just disabused you of the narrative, and you don't care about the facts because obviously I laid it out for you in a way that is irrefutable. And so it's clearly not. No, you're wrong. You're wrong.
All right, so you have it there. That
Holy
whole exchange.
shit.
You have to watch you have to watch the
Holy
whole thing.
shit.
And 60 Minutes is getting absolutely fucking wrecked right now. Because of how that was entirely taken out of context. And look, if you had just watched the 60 Minutes piece, you would have absolutely, essentially 100% believed that a pay-for-play scheme was happening and that DeSantis was giving preferential treatment to Publix. But that's not what fucking happened. Walgreens, CVS, and Walmart also had the vaccine. Walmart and CVS had it first. Long-term care facilities had it before them. Nursing homes had it before them. Hospitals had it before them. Like, it is not a pay-for-play scheme. I don't understand how fucking it is no longer a point where it's no longer a point of just false reporting. This is malicious disinformation. They are trying to smear this guy. And look, politicians don't really get the benefit of the doubt, but you know what? The media doesn't get the benefit of the doubt either. And unfortunately, we live in a world where you can't trust your eyes and ears, and you can't take everything at face value that you're being told in the media because there's been so much fucking lying. And also, just for the record, Ron DeSantis said 100% in that video, so we got to take a drink.
You got to take another drink, and also
say essentially to go with it. Yeah,
essentially. Who the fuck is this Glades person too? Because nowhere in that exchange did he even mention the Glades when they were talking about it. And then they just bring this bitch up as if she had a point in this discussion when he was talking about completely different areas that he went to talk to in the first place. And the thing is, when this happened, it took all day and people were defending it. And then they even released a statement saying that this is honest reporting.
Yeah.
This is absolutely fucking disgusting. And it took everyone until they fucking did the side by side like you just did to honestly come out and start saying that this is heavily edited. And it's not heavily edited for, keeping it short or anything like
it's
that.
Selectively edited to make him just look like he is fully engaged. He looks defensive and he's an asshole to the reporter.
Right, which is not the case. He went on for a 2-minute fucking explanation, really detailed, setting it all the way out on why they picked Publix. You can doubt what DeSantis has to say. Maybe he didn't meet with all those people, and maybe he just assumed that things were just going to work out, and that like the meetings that he had did jack shit. Maybe that's just ineffective governance, but that's not a pay for play scheme. It's just and also they donated to his opponent's PACs as well. Yeah. Like this is absolute garbage narrative.
Yeah.
And it needs to be seen through, and we need to see repercussions on this type of shit. But you're not going to see it. There's not going to be any repercussions on this shit. She's going to keep her fucking job. The editor is going to keep her their fucking job.
Producer,
and all of the people involved in this episode are going to keep their jobs, and you're not going to see anyone want to call for their firing. And you're not going to see an hour segment on this from Stelter. Instead, he's going to be whining about Dowsey talking shit to Zeki. That's what he's going to be doing.
Yazeki,
or he's going to be whining about what Golford, whatever the fuck his name is, the wannabe comedian at Fox is doing. That's what they're going to be doing. That's what the fuck they're going to be doing. And it's disgusting. You can't call yourself a media reporter when that is happening right in front of your face and you don't even give a shit about it.
Yeah.
And then you want us to come and trust you like you're some objective journalist? It's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
Not.
It's not. And honestly, it's so fucking wild to me because, everybody would criticize Trump as someone who would be like a bully and then play the victim. The media is like 69 times worse. Like they essentially
100%.
Every time I think it, I have to say it. They basically say that they are arbiters of truth and that they are going to bring you the real story. And then, most of the time they never do. And then when they're being attacked and criticized for it, just like with the whole situation like Taylor Lorenz and how everyone's like, oh, you can't be attacking her because she's a woman. And, this is harassment and you can't criticize her. Like, no, we're allowed to fucking criticize anyone we want, especially when they're doing a bad fucking job.
This is America.
This is America. And, but like the media plays the victim so much. Like it's and they do it like, and they do it on a dime. They do it so quickly and act like they could do no wrong. And like journalists are being attacked and journalists are being locked all over the globe. Like, yeah, there are journalists who are being locked all over the globe for doing actual journalism and not doing what the fuck you're doing.
Not selected. They don't have to selectively edit Putin or some shit.
Yeah.
But the funny thing also is like, just to move back to one thing on the MLB moving, if you, I text you that tweet thread between Ted Franks and Jake Tapper, because Jake Tapper was doing a scoop, like he's talking to sources in the MLB saying like the reason why they preemptively done this is because we, the media, we're going to go out and ask every player if they're going to boycott this thing or not.
I think we're going to
go out and harass them and do all this kind of stuff to them and all of this. And then Tim Franks is like, okay, you are working in CNN that is located in Atlanta. Are you not going to go to work anymore? Are you going to get out of it? And basically he's like, I can't believe you'd be so disingenuous in asking this type of question. It's like, well, why the fuck are you going and asking other people who are going to be working, who are going to be doing their job, who don't give a flying fuck about this kind of shit? Why are you harassing them?
Yeah,
why are you trying to harass them to bend the knee to your fucking agenda and your policies and your narrative and shit? And that's exactly what the media is doing. They are akin to the fucking mafia, and it's not even funny. They will come and threaten you. They'll come and threaten your family. They'll come and harass your kids at school, your grandmother for retweeting a fucking meme. They are really your enemy.
Oh, well, okay. I hate using the talk of enemy because they are not like legit your enemy, but okay, they are not. Legit, I would argue legit, that. That's the thing. Is I wouldn't say that they're your enemy because enemy has obviously a far more like nefarious. I mean, look, the media is very nefarious and they have an agenda, but I would just say that they are bad actors. I would say that they are not your friends. I wouldn't say that they're your enemies because they're not out to destroy you. They're opportunists in destroying people. So they're not. Sometimes, yes, there's some who will go out of their way to destroy people, but that's not all of them. I mean, I technically am still a journalist, despite the fact that I'm not at a publication now. I'm independent. But at the same time, and they're honest journalists, and I think the most honest journalists are the ones who are currently working independent and are untethered by a publication because they don't have to drive a certain narrative. They are not beholden to a corporate interest. Like, it's not the mainstream media anymore that we need to talk about. It's corporate media that we need to talk about because corporations are running these media entities. CNN is an independent entity. It's run by Turner. It's Fox News is run by News Corp, which has plenty of investors from all over the place. You have NBC, which I guess is which is owned by Universal. So like there there are forces at play from corporations that want to toe a certain line, and they are using journalists as their tools, as their vehicles to basically,
And
you
a
know,
lot of these,
and basically preserve the status quo. And that is basically whatever their dominance is. So that whether it be open journalists, I'm saying not open journalists, open borders, because it's very
Right.
pro-business. But we should open journalists, see what's inside them, because I'm sure that many of them are actually lizard people.
but also it goes into thinking like Washington Post, New York Times, a lot of these places as well. Instead of going, the people and the journalists that are working in these institutions are activists. They're not objective players. They're not out to seek the truth. They're out to push policy because they also want to do that. If people really cared about it. Yeah, the only people who really care about journalism, in my opinion, who really think that they have they want to be doing it honestly and right, are independent journalists, like you're saying. But the thing is, the mainstream media is the one that is pushing mostly the narratives.
Yeah,
and
I would just encourage you. I would encourage you, honestly, to drop the term. And I encourage this to not just you, Jay, but to all the Habibis as well. Drop the term mainstream media, because it's no longer mainstream. It's corporate, because let's be real, corporate entities have penetrated basically every realm of media that we can find. Anywhere there's money to be made, you can bet your ass there's a corporation there who's trying to profit off of it. Even in like these small media outlets. So
right.
It's a tough scene, but like that's just the world we live in. But I will say this, because we are still independent, and since we have all the BBs here, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe right now. Hit the like button. Share this with your friends and family. Try to help us get to monetization, because once we get to monetization, Jay and I could I quit my day job, but Jay can quit his day job too. We could just literally just do this for a living. But yeah, it's kind of wild how we were out last week, obviously, because I was I am on vacation still, but I was even more on vacation last week. I really just checked out, and someone said, yeah, Nate Beebe says, very true, Siraj. Also, you just said penetrated. Nice.
Nice.
So there was a lot of news that we missed in the last week. And I want to try to get to as many stories as we can, but I realize we're not going to get to everything. So I will just say, for like the stories on like Matt Gaetz, on like the Derek Chauvin trial, we're going to let those things play out before we like talk about them, because there just hasn't been enough out there for us to really ascertain and come to a judgment on it, especially because the Derek Chauvin trial is still ongoing. But I will say this, there, and I guess I'll just jump to this because we talked about the Derek Chauvin trial ever so briefly. There is one particular part of that that really drives me nuts, and it's not actually has anything to do with the trial. It actually has to do with an entirely different crime. Now, for those of you who have actually seen video of the carjacking of Muhammad Anwar in Washington, D.C., right outside Nationals Park and Navy Yard, it's a horrific video. Like, it is, there's nothing, like, it's very graphic. It's not grotesque, but it is very graphic in the sense that, like, it's gripping. Like, you would probably see a headline that says, Uber Eats driver dies in the carjacking. You think, oh, no, that's sad. And then you move on with your day. You watch this video and it will ruin your fucking day. And I'm not going to show it because obviously it's too, down. It's too somber, but I will point out how this really just fucking, I cannot tell you how much this pisses me off, because there's just no reason for it. And that is this tweet from Wajahat Ali. Says, my latest, why does the right allegedly care so much about Muhammad Anwar, a Pakistani Muslim immigrant killed during a carjacking? To distract you from the Derek Chauvin trial and attack black communities, please read and share. And Jay, I want to blow my fucking brains out because this is the two have absolutely nothing to do with each other.
Zero.
Like, conservatives and people on the right were just as horrified about the George Floyd killing as they were by the Muhammad Anwar killing. And I have seen, like, I never put this out there, but I've seen only a very few people do this on the right, but not everyone. And that is highlighting the race of the perpetrators in the Muhammad Anwar killing, the 13 and 15-year-old girls who are charged with felony murder were black.
Right.
I have been arguing that their race has absolutely nothing to do and is completely irrelevant to the actual case.
Yeah.
I would actually argue that the race and the ethnicity of Muhammad Anwar is actually far more relevant to this than anything. And the reason for that is Muhammad Anwar, he is Pakistani immigrant. South Asians in the United States were not really seen as like an intimidating class or demographic. You know, you could say that we're pretty much pushovers because, you know, a lot of us are like nerdy and skinny and we just like, you know, we're eager to please other people. So in this particular carjacking instance, I would say that, you know, maybe the whole Uber Eats thing was completely at random and that there was absolutely no reason, like his race had nothing to do with it. In fact, there's actually kind of interesting. There's an organization that actually wants the DC police to investigate if the carjacking was a hate crime. I don't think it was a hate crime, but right. I do think that he potentially was targeted because not because he was South Asian, but because he's South Asian, that makes him an easy target.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you grew up in the Middle East. I mean, South Asians in even the Middle East were kind of seen as like second-class citizens almost.
A lot of them were, because a lot of them had the different jobs that they had and stuff. But growing up over there, my mom always made sure that we treated them like the same as we did. Like she was a teacher in one of the elementary schools, and whenever she would see one of the Marathi kids like be mean to either the janitor or the storekeeper or anything like that, she would make sure to get onto them. And she really helped us make sure that that's how we viewed everyone that was there. And he really did look a lot like a lot of the fathers that I saw growing up in the UAE. It was not an easy thing to see, especially at the end of the video. Mm-hmm. And for Wajid Ali to come out with a disgusting fucking article like that is so disillusioned and warped, it just shows you his mind keep and what's in his mind. He is so delusional and fucked up as a person that he is not somebody you want in your life, really. He's totally fucked up, and he hates white people and Republicans to a point that he is just a bigot, racist, and that's all he is. Because not one person ever said that these use these black girls or use these little girls as an excuse for Derek to walk.
Yeah.
Nobody. Who the fuck ever did that? Like, where is this argument even fucking coming from? No one did. Not even the most outrageous people said or used that.
Like the most outrageous thing I've seen was from fucking Charlie Kirk, who isn't really like a fucking genius on anything. In fact, every time I see him tweet, I truly want to just throw my phone into the toilet. But he tweeted out something that was an error, initially saying that that it was Muhammad Anwar who killed these two black girls. It was the other way around. He got that completely wrong. But also because like he was trying to point how like it wasn't going to get any coverage. It did get coverage, but it didn't get to the level of coverage of like a George Floyd. And like, look, I get it. Like there are certain crimes and when it comes to, corporate media where they find, we really, really need to ram this through the wall. Because think of the ratings, think of like all the, division we can cause, think of all the, the debates that can be had, all the content that can be created. Like, I think people were largely on the consensus of this particular video of with Muhammad Omar, like, this is terrible and justice needs to be brought forward ASAP.
And luckily, and alhamdulillah, like they did. The community came together, all came together and really helped the family out.
So
that was a beautiful thing.
They have a GoFundMe if you're looking to go check their Muhammad Omar's family has a GoFundMe. And we're just going to include the link here in the chat if you want to go donate to his family. They've raised over $1 million, alhamdulillah. And really just a way for his family to find peace. I mean, because he was a grandfather. I mean, this could have been my dad. He was around the same age as my dad. And
I know, it's sad. It's so sad because he really could have. And he's just there, like, and they work so hard. Yeah. Like, these people work so hard. He's 60 something years old and
making an honest living. Driver. Yeah, I mean, he shouldn't have to be an Uber Eats driver, but
that's what he was.
It's a terrible situation.
And the funny thing is, you know what got more media coverage?
What?
A white boy smirking got more media coverage.
The Covent, what was it? Nicholas Sandman. Fucking.
He got more
ridiculous.
More
fucking ridiculous. Yeah, I hate everything. Anyways, also, I will say this. You know what also didn't get a whole lot of media coverage since then? It happened for like a day, maybe a day and a half, and then it completely fizzled once we figured out the identity of the perpetrator. Right. That was the attack on the Capitol Hill. There was a 25-year-old suspect who intentionally rammed their car into two Capitol police officers, killing one and injuring another, and then the suspect was shot and killed.
I don't know if he was killed. I thought he was he was
shot and killed. But just like the level of like just how bad some of these tweets were. I mean, you got Ilhan Omar tweeting out, "Heartbroken to learn another Capitol police officer was killed while protecting the Capitol. My thoughts and prayers go out to the officer's family and the entire Capitol Police Force. The death toll would have been worse if the assailant had an AR-15 instead of a knife." Where the fuck do you get that? Like, even when it's not about a gun, they have to make it about a gun. Like, they have to politicize the fuck out of it. And the identity of the suspect was not a white MAGA terrorist. It wasn't someone who supported Trump. It was someone who was actually a follower of the Nation of Islam and Louis Farrakhan. And he was not white. He was black. And like his race had nothing to do with why he decided to ram his car into two Capitol police officers. This seemed like a guy who was at the end of his rope, who was completely disillusioned by everything that happened within the last year. I'm not trying to justify what he did. I'm just saying this is what my assessment is of what he probably was going through before he decided that this was the route that he figured was best for him. I don't know if he wanted, that saying, suicide by police. Yeah. Like, I feel like that may have been what he was trying to do. It was a suicide by police. He wanted to die, and he was just trying to provoke that type of response. And it's sad. It's all around sad. A Capitol police officer lost his life. Another one was injured. This 25-year-old suspect is dead. And those are two, three families that are, impacted forever.
And the first thing that they thought about is how they're going to use these dead bodies to push their agenda.
Yeah, it's sickening.
And it is. When it comes from either way, it's fucking sickening as fuck. It really is. And especially when it's trying to take away people's rights and shit. Yeah. It's really, really disgusting.
Yeah.
Just like the right was trying to, yeah, it's sad. It really is.
Yeah. In any event, we lightly touched on that because there's not a whole lot to be made about that whole story. It's not like if it was a MAGA terrorist, it was someone who believed in QAnon and wanted to basically exact revenge for January 6th. Obviously, we probably have a lot more to talk about, but this seemed pretty much. Unfortunately, it's pretty cut and dry. It's someone who, mentally someone that probably going through mental illness. And you never hear that when it comes to people who are not white, right? You only hear people who are mentally ill with a gunman if they're white, right?
Right. Well,
I mean, they tried to stretch this Boulder, Colorado shooter as someone who is white, who is clearly a Syrian Muslim, as having mental illness. That was another not person of color who had mental illness. Like, people need to realize that, like, the narratives, these particular crimes are not black and white. They don't fit into a cookie cutter definition. They are complex. These are real people going through real shit, and they take out things in reprehensible, irresponsible, dangerous routes, and hurt people in the process. Sometimes kill them, and
they can. And I think with us being as shut off and closed down as we has been for as long as we have been, it's taken effect on a lot of people, and it's never embarrassing to go out and look for help or to ask for help or to reach out to somebody. It never is. So if anybody needs to do that at all, you can reach out to us.
Yeah, we're here for you.
Join us. You can join us on our Discord server. We have a nice community over there. Everybody's talking to each other.
The link is in the description, by the way. I don't know if you actually are a part of. I have to go check and see if it's expired, but I post the link all the time. I posted
probably so expired.
I have posted that. I have literally copy pasted that for like the last 6 to 9 months, or as long as we've had the Discord server going. But
right, it's probably the right one. But I am going to go ahead and get one to you guys.
Get a link. Good on you. So yeah, it's another, obviously, a very I wouldn't say it's actually today. I would say within the last day, there have been 2 women. Have you been following this Deshaun Watson sexual misconduct story?
No, I have not.
It's not looking good for him. Honestly, at first, I will not lie to you. I thought this was
Habibi in the Discord
Houston
was talking about it.
Yeah. The Houston Texans quarterback, incredibly talented quarterback, demanding a trade. And then as soon as this all comes up, first of all, the Houston Texans is a very poorly run organization. I don't know if you ever actually follow football, but they fucking suck. And their management is fucking garbage. But now Deshaun Watson has a very, 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 very big problem, and it has nothing to do with football. But apparently 2 of the 22 women who have filed lawsuits against Deshaun Watson alleging sexual assault and inappropriate behavior came forward publicly during a news conference on Tuesday. Ashley Solis, whose lawyer, Tony Boothby, said was the first massage therapist to file a lawsuit against Watson on March 16th, spoke in the news conference. And then Lauren Baxley wrote a letter to Watson that was read by lawyer Cornelia Branfield Harvey, who also works at the same law firm. Solis said, "I got into massage therapy to heal people, to heal their minds and bodies, to bring peace to their souls. Deshaun Watson has robbed me of that. He took that away from me. He tainted a profession in which I take enormous pride. I suffer from panic attacks, anxiety, and depression. I'm in counseling as a result of Deshaun Watson's actions. I hope he knows how much pain he's inflicted on me, emotionally and physically, and I hope he knows how much pain he's inflicted on these other survivors." Now, about a day after, so we're fast forwarding to today now, and I'm trying to find this actual what's it called, story. But basically, what I've seen is that there have been leaked text messages between Deshaun Watson and a number of these victims. And one of the massage therapists who actually was defending Watson publicly, privately over text message, was talking about how, you got to stay away from him. And like
Oh shit.
that is not good at all. I'm gonna try to find the exact article, but it is I believe Total Pro Sports. They had they had multiple texts, flight tickets, and IGDMs released of Deshaun Watson recruiting masseuses. And this is just it is not looking good for him. I gotta tell you, like at first I thought it was like all this was all like a play to try to like hurt his stock. Like, nah, this actually looks legit. And for one, I mean, the people who are like basically saying that he didn't do it and now coming out, basically to have their own text messages undermine them, not a good sign. So Deshaun Watson, you better lawyer up, buddy. I know he probably did already lawyer up, but like, man, he's got to get a really good fucking attorney to get out of this one.
Yeah, it looks like he's Kiyomo is trying to beat his record.
Yeah.
What's Kiyomo now at? 6?
I don't know what Kiyomo's at. I will say this though, and it got me thinking because there are obviously a number of different things here. For one, I think a number of Watson's endorsement deals were suspended or canceled. But I also thought about. I couldn't help but think of. And I'm a Patriots fan, New England Patriots fan. I couldn't help but think about Patriots owner Robert Kraft and how like that shit was entirely buried. And like in fairness, like I don't root for Bob Kraft. He just owns the team that I love. Right. It's almost amazing how the treatment for him. And now again, this is different. There are two different stories here at play. For one, Bob Kraft got arrested for a rub and tug in Jupiter, Florida.
Not sexual harassment.
Not sexual harassment or misconduct.
Right.
But like I don't know the extent. Again, I feel like we were kind of shortchanged on whatever investigation that was going to be taking place simply because of Kraft's position. I don't know if anything had to do. I don't know if his race happened to be involved here. I don't know if it was because he was the owner of a at least $1 billion NFL franchise. I don't know if it was money, but I will say the whole thing just sort of stinks to me. It reeks, and just how like the two situations were handled. But again, the situations are different. But it just feels like there's some level of similarity or a tie or connection here, and that's why it just bothers me.
I think it's just because it got out of the news quickly, and it wasn't really. And we
were all making jokes about it. Yo, we were making so many jokes about.
Well, because the rub and tug is.
We were making so many jokes about Kraft busting a nut and thinking like, how could someone his age get it up?
Right. He probably takes a Viagra before he goes and gets the rub and tug. But the thing is, it's like that's a totally different thing because like it's like, for example, going and paying a hooker and raping a stripper.
Right.
It's two different things.
Yeah,
like one is an actual fucking like is really disgusting and it's like what you need to go to jail for reprehensible, and the other one is just illegal. But the other person is like, I'll do it. You pay me this amount of money. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
I understand that I know the two are definitely different situations. It's just like I feel dirty thinking about it, regardless. And
it's because you're thinking about Robert getting a rub and tug.
That's true too, and no one needs to be thinking.
Now it's all in your face and in your head.
Basically, that what's going to happen though is that I'm basically going to just include that in the vaccine song that I play next time. It's just
there you go.
Somehow get a cartoon Bob
version
Kraft
of
getting that rub and tug. Kraft mac and cheese. That's right, Prison Mitch. That's
God.
There you go.
Back in cheese.
Mac and cheese. All right. Moving on to more interesting matters. I actually had a lot of videos ready, but I didn't actually play any of them except for the Ron DeSantis one. But it's okay because I think us just talking through it is much better than actually
watching any of it.
Watching anything. The next story I wanted. Did I just move the camera? Fuck. I don't know if I did.
Maybe.
The next story I really wanted to talk about was this story about how the Biden administration
Oh, how they what?
former story
Excuse
reads
me?
construction. Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're
Did you realize that?
you're
Did I
breaking
cut
out and frozen. You got frozen and started breaking out. Honestly, this is just as bad
did
as
I
when
really?
I start
Okay.
talking to Ahmed in Afghanistan. I mean, Ahmed in
Okay.
Lebanon. I mean, when I talk to Bill over in
Let me do that.
in Texas. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allahu
what is going on
Akbar.
here?
Allah, there we go.
Allahu
There we
Akbar.
go.
Oh, God.
Alhamdulillah.
Am I back?
Alhamdulillah.
Am I back?
Alhamdulillah. MashaAllah.
Alhamdulillah. All right. Wow. Whew. All right. I don't know. I don't think any of that story got out. So I will say this. This is. I think my connection is so bad you didn't hear anything that I just said.
Put it in rice.
Yeah. Carl says DeSantis killed Siraj. C-Dub put it in rice. There we go. Dan says, "Wow, YouTube is literally censoring Siraj." You know what's funny is I'm in like a cottage. I'm in the house that like just has Wi-Fi, and I couldn't find a modem anywhere. Anyways, can you guys hear me? Okay, still?
Yes. No, we can hear you
Okay.
fine now. Like you got
Okay.
you're in. You're not frozen. It's doing good.
I got fucking boomer internet right here. All right, so this is a story I wanted to talk about because it's weird timing for this, right? Because Biden has now been president less than 100 days, over 69 days for sure.
Nice.
But the Biden administration basically admitted that they're going to continue construction of former President Donald Trump's border wall.
Oh, this is so good.
I shit
This
you
is the
not.
funniest thing. It's so good. No, I know it's true. It's the best thing ever. Like ever.
I cannot. I'm trying to rack my brain around this for one, because remember all those times that people said that building a border wall is racist? Well,
Yeah.
guess racism is over, boys. We did it.
we solved it right when we put that old.
Racism is no more. That's my side-by-side meme that I got to tweet out before any of the Habibis steal it. But that is basically what's happening. Basically, Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas told department employees that he may be greenlighting work on the wall to plug quote-unquote gaps in the current wall. This is from the Washington Times reporting that reviewed notes from a recent discussion between Mayorkas and then employees of ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
I thought that was supposed to be dismantled. Isn't that what Harris ran on too?
Yeah. That's what they dismantle ICE. What was it? What was it? It wasn't defund ICE. It was abolish ICE. That's right.
Abolish ICE. That she tweeted it.
I just fucking said abolish ICE. I just fucking said abolish ICE.
Yes, you did. I'm just saying she also tweeted it multiple times. The internet is really fucking you up the ass right now.
It really is, yeah.
Oh, shit.
All right, so this is what Mayorkas reportedly said. He said, quote, "It's not a single answer to a single question. There are different projects that the chief of the Border Patrol has presented and the acting commissioner of CBP presented to me." He goes on to say the president has communicated quite clearly his decision that the emergency that triggered the devotion of Department of Defense funds to the construction of the border wall is ended. But that leaves room to make decisions as part of the administration, in particular areas of the wall that need renovation, particular projects that need to be finished. So there you have it.
Well,
460 miles of border wall that were built under President Trump. Looks like they're going to be adding to that tally. Maybe we'll get 469.
Inshallah. And you know what?
Inshallah.
In all honesty, walls are infrastructure.
Yeah. Walls
So
are
it works.
infrastructure. Oh, yes. We didn't even talk about that. Holy shit. Where is it? Let me find it.
Oh man, but it's so good. It's so good that they're actually going to be completing it. I mean, they still are putting kids in cages. There's a report that came out just a little bit ago as well that there is where 1,300 kids are being held in Texas, that they are telling the Texas Rangers that they're being molested and sexually harassed. What is happening under Biden? Sexually assaulted. What's happening under Biden with all of these things that we were said was exactly like Nazi Germany, was exactly like concentration camps, was exactly like the KKK, was exactly like white supremacy on steroids, is happening in abundance under fucking Biden. And we don't hear the same rhetoric coming out of the people, coming out of the journalists and shit. Nowhere near the same fucking rhetoric with all of this shit that's coming out.
But in any event, Kirsten Gillibrand tweets, paid leave is infrastructure. Child care is infrastructure. Caregiving is infrastructure.
Eating Dan's mom's ass is infrastructure.
Essentially.
100%.
So, the Habibis are our infrastructure. So thank you to all of you Habibis for constantly tuning into us and looking forward to Habibi Power Hour. And make sure you sub to our channel if you haven't already. So yeah, Biden bill and the border wall, that's a fun one to explain. How the fuck did Democrats go? Where do they go from here? I'm so confused. Like, are they gonna be chanting at rallies in 2024, saying build the wall? Like, have we gotten to full circle where like the wall is just like, you're gonna have Democrats to be like, yeah, actually we built the wall. That was us.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because when you're starting to see how bad immigration is going and all that kind of stuff, it's going to change the narrative here in a little bit. Because when they're going to poll after looking at the disaster we're seeing with infrastructure, with the immigration and shit, that's going to be one of the number one topics people are going to be talking about. And they're going to be like, concerned.
For one, all right, I guarantee you, no one is voting on infrastructure. Absolutely zero.
No,
there's no one gives a shit about it. No one cares. They care about. It's the economy, stupid. It's always been the economy.
Well, everybody cares about their paycheck. Everyone does.
Yeah. So, earn is infrastructure. That's right.
Hell yeah, he is.
Polio.
Where is Mr. Earn?
There we go. Earn is infrastructure. Ernie is up with my in-laws right now, but he is a good boy, and I'll be seeing him in a couple days, and maybe we'll I'll stream with him in celebration on Twitch.
Inshallah.
But yeah, I miss the little buddy, and I can't wait to see him. We have one last story we want to cover because this is our news story, our news segment called our What the Fuck Story of the Week. And I don't know how else you explain it because it makes zero fucking sense. And if anything, when you hear about it, you think, holy fuck, how is this not just how is it that QAnon is not all over this? Because
I know
Newsweek in the story says, can blood from young people slow aging? Silicon Valley has bet billions on it. Okay, so that's the story right there. I'm just going to read from a little bit of it. And the Spanish firm Grifols set off a kerfuffle last year when it nearly doubled the going price for blood donations for a COVID-19 treatment trial. Brigham Young University in Idaho had to threaten some enterprising students with suspension to keep them from intentionally trying to contract COVID-19. The trial failed. However, and now the Barcelona-based firm is hoping to extract something far more valuable from the plasma of young volunteers, a set of microscopic molecules that could reverse the process of aging itself. I hope they called it adrenochrome, because if they didn't call it, that is a massive fuck up. Anyways, earlier this year, Grifols closed on a $146 million deal to buy Alkahest, a company founded by Stanford University neurologist Tony Weiss-Correa, who, along with Saul Vieta, revealed in scientific papers published in 2011 and 2014 that the blood from young mice had seemingly miraculous restorative effects on the brains of elderly mice. The discovery adds to a hot area of inquiry called geroscience that focuses on identifying beneficial elements of blood that dissipate as we age and others that accumulate and cause damage. In the last 6 years, Alkahest has identified more than 8,000 proteins in the blood that show potential promise as therapies. Its efforts and those of Grifols have resulted in at least 6 phase 2 trials completed or underway to treat a wide range of age-related diseases, including Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. So what we're getting at here is that not to drink mice blood, but everything that...
But to drink baby mice blood.
Baby mice blood. And somehow that means all the fears of QAnon, and you have this child sex trafficking cabal that drinks the blood of young children to keep them young, somehow gets its fucking legs from this fucking story. I just don't know what the
pretty soon we're gonna see an article come out to say, yes, in fact, the Queen of England is a lizard person.
I just don't know. Jay, I am, what the fuck, man? That is just some of the, that is the craziest shit I have ever heard.
Ever. And it goes into, it's amazing how like science fiction horror stuff can come true given enough time. It's ridiculous. It's so fucking insane. And to come out in a time like this, when you have so many crazies on the internet, especially those who follow fucking QAnon shit.
Yeah.
It's just, why do it?
It's it's just it is absolutely going to just create a panic within QAnon, being like, see, this is what we've been talking about. This is exactly what we were talking about. And vindication. By the way, I saw Atomic Playgirl asking me, and I can't find the comment, if I was actually drinking Angel's Envy. Yes, I actually fucking found it. And it's actually really good. I'm glad
it's one of the best bourbons at that price range.
Only in Ron DeSantis' Florida. Hopefully he poisoned us, so kill me right after this.
Well, you got COVID right now.
I got COVID, yeah. So yeah, that is basically the long and short of it. We before we go, obviously, we got our final segment, and this is my favorite one. Because literally we could just do anything, and that is ask us anything. So Habibis, ask us your questions. Ask us, and I for one, if people wondering where I am in Florida, I'm not fucking telling you. It's not. I am in Florida. That's all that matters.
That is all that matters.
Yeah.
Well, you would have a blast. Florida seems like a fucking beautiful.
I was gonna wait until I came back to like talk about it, but like since we're here, you know, it's almost like COVID never happened here. I don't know how many Florida Habibis we have here in the chat. I know Prison Mitch is a Florida Habibi. But Florida's crazy in a good way. Like people. I feel like it's the one last free state in the union.
Right.
And people, you know, look, DeSantis, he lifted the mask mandate. And so I've gone into stores without wearing a mask. And I'm like, this is so weird. And sometimes I'll just bring a mask with me just in case, because some stores require it, like Publix. Right. Publix still requires it, despite donating money to Ron DeSantis's PAC. They still require masks, those fucking libs. Pub libs.
And he gave them the to be able to distribute the vax. And the funny thing is, like, the one other thing that they were like complaining about is like they charge what, $20 to administer the vaccine or something like that.
No, they don't charge anything.
It's all free, right?
Yeah, it's free to the patient. They can bill Medicaid.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, because it's got to come out of someone's pocket.
Right, but it just makes no sense, this angle that they were going for. I'm sorry. But I bet it feels nice. I hate wearing a mask. I hate it. I hate wearing a mask going into Target.
It fucking blows. It fucking blows,
does.
man. At this point, like, if you're vaccinated, if you are vaccinated, and we didn't even get a chance to talk about all the mixed messaging from CDC, and I wanted to talk about that, but I get so. Yeah, Dr. Fauci. I just get so enraged with everything that happens with COVID, just because like the messaging from CDC has been fucking atrocious. It has been atrocious under Trump. It's been atrocious under Biden. And I say honestly, and I say fuck the government a lot, but like truly fuck the government. Like they do not know their ass from their elbow. They give us recommendations that supposedly are supposed to make us feel better or supposed to keep us safe. Like, no, it's supposed to keep us under control. There was the former the former president of Planned Parenthood, Dr. Leanna Wen. She went on, I think it was Chris Cuomo or some MSNBC show. I can't recall. It was CNN or MSNBC, one of those two. But she was basically arguing that the case of like, if people don't get the vaccine, then people are just going to go out and enjoy their liberties anyway, which is like the whole fucking point of it. Like this is a free fucking country, and no government is going to, no one in government is going to tell us that we can't do whatever the fuck we want to do so long as we're not harming other people. Like if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a fucking mask. It doesn't matter anymore. My mom's like on the phone with me telling me that I gotta be wearing a mask because of all the variants. No, fuck out of here. Like I'm not gonna be wearing a mask. It's bullshit.
That's exactly right. I mean, and the way that they were mixed messaging like that is giving doubt to the vaccine. It's like, then why should I get the vaccine if I can't go back to normal? If I can't live my life?
So fucking stupid. It's about community immunity. I'm talking unity. I'm talking about unity for you and me.
I got the vaccine. You got the vaccine. They got the vaccine. We got the vaccine.
Eric Halverson says, Siraj, have you had the chance to meet up with Ben Shapiro or Charles C.W. Cook during your time in Florida? No, I have not. I didn't realize that both of them were in Florida.
Wasn't Ben Shapiro in Texas?
I thought he's in Tennessee, but
Tennessee.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. Maybe he's in. Maybe he isn't. I don't know. Anyways, Daniel says, "Fuck you, Siraj," and that's for playing the vaccine song. Never stop. Harkerat. Thank you for joining the stream. I saw his comment earlier saying that this was the first time that he's ever watched the stream live.
Habibi.
Welcome, marhaba. It says, when are you visiting Toronto, Habibis?
Never. Why would we go to that commie state to Ali Bakwa?
Did you ever see the I know you're shadow banned on Twitter, but did you ever see this it's like it's like World War I propaganda of, and let me find it because it's just so good. It basically shows the United States map if the Central Powers, meaning Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Serbia, if they won, and Turkey, I should say, the Ottoman Empire, if they won World War I. Yeah, let me pull this up because it's just too good not to share. Let's see here. The 1916 propaganda map created by the Allies during World War I. Look how they label Canada. It's just barbarians. It's so good. Let's zoom in a little.
It's
They
beautiful.
have the mainland of the United States as New Prussia, meaning that's basically what Germany is. You have the West Coast, the Pacific Northwest, all the way down to California as Japonica, which is interesting because Japan was actually part of the Allies, not part of the Central Powers during the First World War. You have Austriana as the Baja California province of Mexico. The American reservation, limited to Texas and New Mexico and some parts of Arizona. And then Florida. Look at Florida. It's Turconia. You have literally...
Turconia.
You have whatever on the Gulf Coast, Constantinople function. You have the Gulf of Hate. And then Jacksonville is Baghdad Corners. And then Miami is... Palami Beach or something like that. It's just too good. So just wanted to share that. Just wanted to share that with you guys.
Barbarians.
But Turconia, I mean, the Muslims could have had it. We could have had it. It could have been us.
They could have. I mean, there's a really nice documentary on Netflix about the Ottomans. And about the siege of Constantinople. It's really good. I would suggest watching it. Yeah, I liked it. I really liked it.
Really? Oh, I love a good history documentary. I'll have to check that out. But Habibis, go ahead and ask us your questions since it's been so long since we've seen you. Because, I don't think we're going to be doing a premium episode this weekend, but we will be doing it probably next week when I get back.
Is he no longer shadow banned, and is he now like just straight up banned?
Let's find out.
No, I'm still on.
Zachary Wilson asked what the documentary was called, Jay.
Let me get it for you. Hold on. And then you can go ahead and search me to make sure I'm not shadow banned. Zachary. It is called Rise of Empires Ottoman. It's really good. It's like a nice. drama documentary type thing. So it's really good.
Yeah.
And James.
Sorry, hold on.
No,
hold on. Anthony Rivera says, "Oh wait, prayers up for Habibis follow-up surgery tomorrow." Prayers up to you, Fabi. We're praying for you. Hoping your surgery goes well. Keep us posted. Keep us abreast. Inshallah. Hopefully everything goes well. All right, Jay. Back to you.
Yeah. No, it's all good. James. Me. Who do you think taught Ern? What the fuck? What kind of questions? Get the fuck out of here with this shit. Did you see some little bitch?
Oh, Faye Bibi. Did you see some little bitch on Twitter try to report Jay for turning with a new account on Twitter? Yeah. I never block anyone, and Jay told me to block him, so I blocked him immediately. And then I wanted to take a screenshot of it, and I went back, and the motherfucker blocked me instead.
And what's really funny is that he also went under Faye's tweet to also try to report me as well, which is fucking hilarious. And also,
such garbage.
Faye, I love the aggression more. I think every since she started following HBH, we got to see you come out of your shell a little bit more.
We just bring it out. We bring it out in Faye. She loves to just savage me, and I think that's I like to say I am her inspiration. Eric Halverson says, "Have you guys thought about hosting a clubhouse club or room?" Jay, I don't think we've ever actually really talked about it.
We haven't
about doing clubhouse. And you know what? Fuck it. I don't want to do clubhouse because this is much better. This is basically clubhouse right here.
Right.
So
this is and we get more interaction like this and stuff. And also, if you join our Discord server, Discord also has a feature kind of like Clubhouse that we can do, but we also do game nights with the Habibis and stuff. Like the other time we played Jackbox games, I just mirrored my screen and everybody just played Jackbox games together, and it was a lot of fun. And I'm thinking we're going to implement like a game night 2 nights a week with all the Habibis on Discord and stuff. So if you guys aren't on there, come on in. Just do not invite Taylor Lorenz. Fuck that bitch. You invite Taylor Lorenz, I am finding your ass. I'm going to eat it, and then I'm going to eat your mom's ass.
Bro, what if I like lured Taylor Lorenz into the Discord server real innocently and just be like, hey, you should really check out our Discord server. Everyone there really loves you. And then she gets in, everyone's just fucking like, go fuck yourself.
Shit. Dude, that would be her. That would be so bad.
Wow, Robert Jeffers. Robert says, Siraj, you're still whiter than the wall behind you. Have you been outside at all yet?
Oh shit.
You know what, Robert? Words hurt.
It's all good. Happy.
Tired of dealing with this abuse. Rico Roca says, Siraj, can we adopt the vaccine song as our official Habibi national anthem? I would adopt it if they give me the fucking rights to it. But unfortunately they haven't, and they keep giving me a copyright strike every time I play it. Ryan Schilling says, what will it take for Siraj to permanently relocate to Florida, or are you planning to just stay there for now? I may be coming more often, but it's not because of anything I have to do. It's mostly for what a certain better half has to do. So,
no, I'm in California. I don't have to be in Florida. Your better half is here in California.
Wow, Jay, shut the fuck up. David Toll says the Habibi Discord server definitely features a ton of unfeathered conversations that Taylor Lorenz would find violent. That is true. Shivan says, Jay, look at your DMs. Go ahead and do it.
I did. He you know that shadow ban check? Shadow ban check Ahmed El Aslikin, and he's not shadow banned anymore.
Alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah.
MashaAllah. Habibi. MashaAllah. Okay. So real quick, before we get into anything else, and before we get out of here, I just want to say congratulations to A1 Jennifer Rubin for winning Comfortably Smug's Liberal Hack Madness tournament. And that was by far, she beat Chris Kiyomo in the final. Now, did she deserve to win? No, Chris Kiyomo definitely deserved to win. But is she still our queen and we are going to stand for her no matter what? Absolutely. Essentially 100% of the time. Essentially
100%. But the funny thing is, the person who deserved to win is fucking Brian Stelter, and
no, he was the reigning champ. He already had it. No, he didn't. He didn't deserve it at all. He didn't, and you want to know why? Because Jen Rubin did this.
I said they were Democrats. All right.
Yes, which also isn't true. Actually, the only Democrat was Chris Wallace.
No. Ms. Raddatz and Mr. Cooper are Democrats. You did not know that?
You've made excuses for the lock her up comment. You've pleaded with Ted Cruz, and he's really an honest man.
When did I make excuses for lock her up? What did I exactly say?
Let's see. That would have been on. Let's see if I have the date exactly. It would have been on. Lock her up would have been on. In April and also in August. In October, if you remember, Charles Krauthammer came on and had a very vigorous argument.
Wait a minute. What did I say about in April and August? What exactly did I say?
Right. Well, we can go through all of them.
No, I want that one.
Which one in particular?
April or August.
Okay. Let's see. In August, we had comments that you were going to. You would, if somebody is being really dishonest, referring to the press corps, you would strip them of their credentials as well. Doesn't sound like an independent thing.
That doesn't have anything to do with lock them up. You are ill prepared for this interview, Ms. Rubin.
No, I'm not. I have a whole list here.
Ms. Rubin, I have just given you a minute where you've hemmed and hawed. You said you said I justified a comment, lock her up. You can't point to it, and then you pivot to something else.
Yes,
you are
you
ill
have.
prepared for this, and this is the point I want to make.
Bill.
This is the point I want to make. Your column and blog are fraud.
Right. October 10th, you defend Trump's promise to put Hillary in jail.
Well, tell me how I did that, madam. You just can't throw out, what did I say?
You said that it was a perfectly defensible position. You can go to your own clips.
No, I didn't. That's not true. I didn't say it was a perfectly defensible. Read it. Read my comments. Do you have my comments there? Read them.
I don't have them word for word, but I have the date. And you know what I'll do, Bill? I'll put them up at my website, and people can judge for themselves. You know how many people are going to come to your website? 0, because you're not an honest analysis person.
It never gets old.
Never gets old.
Never gets old. Okay, because I'm definitely feeling the effects of this. This
Angel's Envy. I just want to highlight one last thing, and that is from our good friend Fuzzy Dunlop, who came up with this comic. Holy shit! Can we just? I just want to look at it real quick. He comes up. Follow the weird and wild adventures of the superhero the world didn't know they needed. Ass licking. Issue number 1 introduces our hero and chronicles his rescue of Siraj Hashmi being mysteriously trapped inside a butt. It's so genius.
Look at the fucking.
So genius.
You got this first slide that says, "I'm Ahmed Al-Aslik and I'm being inducted into the Legion today." And then let's look at the second slide. Look at the bio. Ahmed Al-Aslik, and real name unknown, home planet Uranus. Origin: food of Uranus was gradually poisoned by microbes, so inhabitants evolved the ability to eat and digest ass.
My God.
Other data: height 5'4", peas sitting down. And then the final slide, which I'm right behind you with my fucking giant beard. It said, "Wow, with your power of eating ass at super speed, you'll tunnel us out in no time. Alhamdulillah."
Alhamdulillah. It's too good. Even holding Chick-fil-A and stuff. Because
you got the Chick-fil-A bag, yeah.
I eat Chick-fil-A for dinner before every HBH. It never fails. I always eat it. Fuzzy, you're a fucking legend.
Legend indeed. It's so good.
Are a legend. It's so good.
Oh my God.
Whatever app you use and stuff is fucking amazing.
However he designed that, it's just incredible. So good. So Habibis, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to us on patreon.com/Habibi Bros. That is how we make our money now. That is, if you sub to our channel, there are a bunch of different tiers, but the most base one is $5 a month for all of our premium episodes, which is actually quite a bit of a steal, if you ask me, because the amount of work that Jay and I put into these fucking premium episodes is definitely worth way more than $5 a month.
That is for sure.
So if you want to support some Habibis that you trust with your dues, go ahead and support us at Patreon in the link below. Of course, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel at Habibi Bros. And then we also have a Twitter account that should be included, hopefully, in the link below. But we're at Habibi_Bros. Now, yes, Habibi Bros was taken. Some other duo decided that they were going to take up Habibi Bros. So I had to get the one with the fucking underscore. And who would have thought that would have been an issue? But, you know, we may not be the first ones to Habibi Bros, but we'll be the best Habibi Bros to you Habibis. So
absolutely. And help us get Habibi_Bros verified. more followers, more getting it verified. That would be fucking. That would be insane.
Yeah. So we won't have an episode this weekend because I'll be traveling back home. But next week we are back fully locked and loaded. We're going to be bringing a premium episode and all the other good shit. We got a lot of good guests that we got lined up for you. We don't have them scheduled yet, but we got verbal commitments, and that is good enough for us. So Habibis,
yes,
I hope you're just as excited as I am, because in the lead up to our 69th episode, we're only going to get bigger and bigger and better. So Habibis, love you all. Thank you so much for joining us on Habibi Power Hour tonight. For the Habibi Bros, I'm Siraj Hashmi.
And I'm Jay Kobbe.
And we'll see you guys next week on Habibi Power Hour. Peace it, Habibis. Love you all.
Have
a good night.
Ma salama.
Ma salama. Peace it.